朋友是一个坚韧不拔的纪录片，在香港这座城市的设置。主演。
Tonight on Peace Thunder, I will review one Soviet main battle tank that was balanced by people who snort glue for a living. Yes, that's right, you troglodytes, I'm talking about the T-64B. Now you may ask, what is so special in this tank? Well, to put it simply, everything except mobility. It's a chunky boy. Let's start up with armor, because that's half of this thing's magic. Now if you reach this point in the Soviet tech tree, you will realize that they have composite armor. It varies from tank to tank, but they mostly stay the same thickness. The T-64B has its upper frontal plate made from 60mm of rolled homogeneous armor, 35mm of Textilite, another plate of 30mm of rolled stellinium, another 35mm of Textilite, and the last plate is 45mm of depleted rolled stamped stellinium, all of this being angled at 65 degrees. Turret armor is made from 140mm of cast homogeneous armor, 150mm of ultra porcelain, and 110mm of cast homogeneous armor. Manlet is made from in between 150 to 330mm of cast armor. Lower plate is only 80mm thick, making it one of the weakest part of your armor along with the driver's port and turret manlet. This armor configuration makes you immune from all 105 APFSDS and Heat FS. Turret is immune to 120mm rounds, not all of them, everything up until the M23 including it. Side armor is 80mm thick, ass is 35mm thick. Now to the other thing that makes this shit magic. Its gun. It is equipped with a 125 to a 46 M1 smoothbore cannon that can fire a multitude of deliciously flavored rounds. Stock you get a HE-80FS round that can pen 550mm of armor at 90 degrees. You also get a HE shell that weighs 23 kilograms and has 3.5 kilograms of pure TNT. This shell can one-shot everything with a little bit of aiming, and I recommend when grinding for APFSDS to use this instead of the HE-80FS1. Your first resiacable APFSDS is the 3BM22, which you should be accustomed to from the previous tanks. Your second resiacable round is the Cobra anti-tank guided missile. It is barrel-fired and has 650mm of pen. You can use it to down helicopters or planes. Now your last round is the 3BM42 Mango round. It's a long APFSDS shell that has 457mm of pen point blank. You can kill everything from a Brands to Leo to a 4S, and is the main round for everything up to T-80B and T-90A. Now let's talk about mobility. It is the main downside of this thing. Stock you weight 40 tons and your engine is putting out around 640 horsepower, giving you a power to weight ratio of 16 horsepower per ton, which is slow for a main battle tank, but still faster than half of the British tech tree. Your top speed going forwards in a straight line on even ground is 60 km per hour, and your reverse speed is pure CBT at only 4 km per hour. Now let's move out to the modification line, and the first one to talk about, because it's one of the most important ones, it's the T-64BV modification. It adds contact 1 mirror on the upper frontal plate, turret cheeks and turret top and hull sides up until the engine. This era offers 400mm of chemical protection. Your front has up to 800mm of chemical protection, making you impervious to all atoms. Top attic ones can be eaten by the top era, but only like 1 or 2 can be stopped by it. Another interesting thing about this era that Gauge Eagles doesn't say is that it adds 70mm of thickness. Now you may say, wait, WTF are you on about? It only says that it has a kinetic projectile protection of 5mm. Well, the pure thickness of the brick adds as armor and gauge in modeled era in such way that when a kinetic shell hits a brick, the era explodes and the shell starts to tumble, making it lose speed and penetration. Let's go back to our usual modification line. so we won't go insane. First modification should be parts, then FPE, then 3BM22, horizontal turret drive, laser rangefinder, smoke grenades, adjustment of fire, Ivan recruitment program, at GM, elevation mechanism, T-64B, 3BM42, NVD, artillery support, SN mobility line. Start with engine, transmission etc. Now we need to talk about tactics and other such things that will keep you alive and safe. First thing we need to talk about is the autoloader. As its name implies, it is an automated reloading mechanism. Now, there are two types of Soviet autoloaders. First one is the T-72 type of autoloader, where charges and shells are stacked horizontally. This allows you to survive more rounds in case they penetrate. Then there is the T-64 type of autoloader that has the charges stacked vertically and the shells themselves are stacked horizontally. In this type of autoloader, if the round penetrates, it's gonna end with a very significant emotional event called ammo detonation. So for your safety, bring only 20 rounds. This should keep the ammo rack as empty as possible, while also giving you enough ammunition to deal with whatever you are fighting. Another thing about autoloaders is the fact they keep reloading, even if your tank is on fire or extinguishing it. Now if your tank has no more battery, the autoloader dies with it, and Ivan has to reload the shells himself, which takes ages. This tank has 4 play styles. First one is an aggressive support tank, where you stay at medium to close range, keeping a tab to your surroundings. Second one is an brawler. This is only when you get down geared, and only on city maps. Third one is flanking your enemy, killing a few, and changing position. Fourth one is camping bush, staying at long range, and killing everything that is dumb enough to go in open field. For ammo loadouts, I recommend bringing only HE rounds as your primary shell until you get APFS. Once you get APFSDS, bring 14 APFSDS, 3 HE shells and 3 at GMS. This will give you a balanced amount of firepower against everything that you are going to face. Now go make mother Bye.